People wouldn't expect this, but actually the car is serviced by Porsche. 991.1 GT3. To me, this is a better looking car, it's a more reliable car. Hi, I'm Alastair. I'm the General Manager here at Windrush London. And behind me, we've got something quite interesting and something we don't often do, which is one client's entire collection of vehicles, which we've brought out for the purpose of this video, obviously with the client's permission. And I thought it'd be quite interesting if I took you through, firstly, why we store the client's collection here, but also some of the cars themselves, what's interesting about them, and give you some of the background about why he uses our services. So if we move to the first one, and actually this is the most recent car in his collection, we've got a classic Mini Cooper S Works, which is one of only 25 of this particular model that were made. As you can see, it is in inevitably British racing green with a lovely dark red interior. The car is extremely low mileage. It has approximately 500 to 700 miles on the clock, I believe. And the client has bought it because it's a car that I believe he had experience of when he was younger, and is something that he would like one day perhaps for his own children to learn to drive in. It's a good example of how we look after all sorts of vehicles. I think people think of car storage as all about the Ferraris, the Lamborghinis, that sort of thing, but actually we will care for anything and care for them all to the same standard. And actually this little Mini is a beautiful example of the model, and it's something that gets looked after to the same standard as any of the more exotic cars that we might have. Here we have, many people watching the videos will be familiar with this. This is arguably the grandfather of all the fast Audi estates. It's an RS2 assembled by Porsche with some really interesting design cues on it from Porsche themselves, such as the mirrors, the wheels, the brakes, and so on are all Porsche parts. This particular car the client uses as the runaround. It's the family car. It is a lovely example, again, relatively low mileage, but probably one of the cars that he uses more among his collection here with us. And as you'll probably know, we operate on a use the vehicle as much as you like basis, so the cars can be taken out whenever the client wishes, as often as they wish. And this is a car that he definitely enjoys. It's practical, it's fast, it's also really understated and very much something you could drive around London and not really be noticed, except by those who know what they're looking at. Moving on again, 991.1 GT3 in Gulf Orange, right-hand drive UK car. I think it's the first one he saw with us, and as you can see, his collection has grown substantially since then. It's a fantastic car, obviously for the track, but also for fast road use in the UK. And again, it's one that he uses both here and also in Europe from time to time. And we arrange the logistics to get the car to him, be it in the UK at his hotel or his house, and also abroad in Europe when he decides to take it there. Head on, we'll look at some of the others. Okay, so next one in the line, again, a relatively recent arrival, is this Mercedes SLS. It's a beautiful example. We understand it to be one of one, in the sense the colour scheme and the specification is the only one of its sort. You'll be able to see in the images that will show you that it has a very, very unique blue carbon fibre interior, which we understand from the factory. And I think it's the only one of these that has that particular spec. You see a lot of them in silver and black, as is typically the case with Mercedes, but this one is a very, very lovely dark blue. And for the real geeks among you, the gold calipers will have been noticed, which means that it has, of course, got the extremely expensive ceramic brake option, which is fantastic. Again, really, what you've probably noticed already is that this guy has a really nice taste in cars, but there are a lot of different cars here. They're a real mixture. Each one has a different role. This is probably more your sort of GT, your long distance weekend car, as opposed to the Porsches, which are more for the sportier drives, track, and so on. We're now going to move on to the last couple of vehicles in the collection. So here we have another Porsche, obviously. It's a 991 GT3 Touring, so relatively rare car. They've made far less 991 Tourings than they did 992 Tourings. This is a left-hand drive car in paint sample colour, as you'll be able to see. Left-hand drive is interesting because obviously this client's cars are by and large right-hand drive. The left-hand drive focus means this is a European car used for European road trips, and we often send it to places in Europe for him to meet him on his arrival, so he can use it in the Alps, for example. Very interesting spec. It has the houndstooth in black and white check interior. And as I say, some other sort of subtle modifications, magnesium BBS wheels. It has also got some Manthe Racing modifications as well. But it's a very, very nice example, very much optimized for the track and for fast road use as well. And we'll move on to the last car in the collection, which you'll be able to see at the back here, which is, again, probably for him, I'm sure he wouldn't mind me saying, slightly unusual choice, but it is clearly a Ferrari GTC4 Lusso. Lovely, lovely colour, this car, although I think grey and silver cars get a lot of stick. This is actually Canna de Fucile, so it's a very historic Ferrari racing colour. Slightly changes colour under the lights. It's a beautiful example with a lovely chocolate interior. And again, this for the client is a car that is used when he perhaps wants to drive from London to Paris. So it's something comfortable, fast, very stable at high speed. He has, in this case, you may notice it has the winter tyres fitted, which is something we do for him. So we'll swap the tyres over season to season. Again, all part of the service to help him use the car in winter conditions safely with his family. It's a car that he uses a lot, and I think we're finding a lot of owners are keeping the GTC4 Lussos long term rather than swapping them for something newer, like, for example, a Purasang, quite simply because, to me, this is a better looking car, it's a more reliable car. The modern Purasangs having had some issues in our experience. This is a car you can use for long distance, it's relatively comfortable, has relatively large amounts of space, but it also has all the attributes that you'd expect of a Ferrari, and that's certainly the experience that my client has seen here. I thought it'd be interesting to talk to you about some of the things we've done on these various vehicles for this particular customer. Taking the Mini as a starting point, customer was after one of these and had found the vehicle in a dealership up just north of Birmingham. We went to have the car inspected, produced a report for him on it, highlighted any issues, which there weren't any because it's a very low mileage and an excellent example. We then had the car transported down to London. It was just before Christmas, so he was looking to use the car, as you happened to be in the UK at that point. There were some things he wanted doing. We got the car transported down to London within a day or so of his purchase. Within the next 2 days, we had new tyres fitted, a tracker unit fitted, and also the new head unit with CarPlay capability fitted, and then had the car delivered straight to his hotel in time for him to use it over the Christmas period. So an example of a lot of services we can offer, which were kind of compressed into a very short time frame. And again, that's one of the services we do offer our clients here, is the ability to manage these modifications to their vehicles, even if they happen to be halfway across the world. Moving on to look at a couple of other cars, I'll give you some other examples on what we can do. The RS2 is a good example of a car that's now, it is pretty rare, particularly in right-hand drive form. Sourcing parts for an RS2 isn't straightforward. And actually, we've helped the client source various items for this car. Examples being the metal grille pieces under here. They aren't produced anymore, of course, but we managed to find some of those for him and actually keep a stock of them spare on the shelf so that if he ever needs them, we can get them replaced. We've also had the car obviously serviced. Now, people wouldn't expect this, but actually the car is serviced by Porsche because a lot of the mechanical bits are Porsche derived or certainly were built by Porsche. So the car goes to Porsche every year for its annual servicing. We also source items such as tyres, brakes, which are, again, quite difficult to come by purely because of the rarity of the vehicle and its age. And generally, we do our best to keep it in running order of what is now a relatively old car. This client is a good example of the service we can offer. But what I mean by that is, it isn't always about just a single vehicle. You can keep one car here, and you can rotate multiple vehicles through that single space. But one thing we also offer is the ability to build and care for a collection like this. This gentleman started off with one, started to add vehicles, and has eventually built up a collection of 6. And there are several other clients in this room here who have a similar collection of vehicles that has been built up over time. And again, we are able to manage all aspects of all these cars and the care for these vehicles, be it 1, be it 3, be it 6 or more. Hopefully this has been interesting as a way of showing not just the storage side of things, but also the fact that people use us to build a collection of cars, of interesting cars like these, but also how these cars are used, how we maintain them, what's required in terms of annual maintenance, which leads me on to the end of the video really, which is if you're looking for storage in London and you're looking to build a collection like this, 1 car, 3 cars, 10 cars, please do get in touch with us. We have the ability to not only store them, which obviously is the key part of it, but also actively maintain these vehicles using our network of expert suppliers, help you look after them, transport them wherever you might need them to be, and generally make your life easier as your one point of contact for all car care related matters. So the message is, if you like this sort of thing, the car storage stuff, but also something a little bit more interesting, a little bit more detail on some of the cars that we're fortunate enough to look after, please do subscribe and follow us for more similar content in the future. Thanks very much.